Hello, Team 6. This video belongs to class number 15, in which we're going to see some vocabulary. We're going to practice reading, and then we're going to practice our grammar structure, which is comparatives and superlatives. So first, we have some vocabulary related to lifestyle. As I said before, I included a chart there in the class with some expressions, and the idea is that you write sentences describing your lifestyle before and during the quarantine period. I gave you an example. I describe my life nowadays and what it was like before this quarantine period. Then you have one activity from the workbook. In activity number 2, there is a reading comprehension activity from the student's book. Remember to write the answers here in the main file. And then we have the grammar structure, comparatives and superlatives of adjectives and adverbs. So I'm going to read what you have here on the screen and what is in the main file. So remember that adjectives can be short or long, and depending on that is the structure that we're going to use to compare, yes, and to use the superlative form. So here we have, let's start with short adjectives. When we have a short adjective, yes, what you do is you add er when you compare and est for the superlative. I am taller than my daughter, okay, and my husband is the tallest in my family, okay? So I use the short adjective tall and er for the comparative, est for the superlative. What happens if you have a long adjective, as in intelligent, okay? To compare, we are going to use more or the opposite less, more intelligent than, less intelligent than. If it is the superlative, we have the most intelligent, the least intelligent as the adjective. There we have some spelling rules, let's say. If the adjective ends in E, as in late, we are only going to add R for the comparative, later, and ST for the superlative, the latest. If you have, as in thing, we have a consonant, a vowel, and a consonant, what we do is that we double the consonant and then we add est or er, okay? But the idea is that the adjective needs to have this consonant, vowel, consonant, okay? If you have an adjective that ends in y, as in happy, you're going to change the y to I, and then you're going to add er or est. And then there is a limited number of two-syllable adjectives that can form the comparative and superlative in two ways, okay? Both are accepted. Stupid, stupider, and more stupid, or the stupidest or the most stupid. Cleverer or more clever, the cleverest or the most clever. Okay, and then you have clever, common, friendly, gentle, narrow, polite, quiet, and simple. Okay, now let's see what happens with superlatives. With adverbs. You know that adverbs modify actions, okay? So we are here. Adverbs modify verbs, actions. So we have, we have one example there. He writes faster or more neatly than I do. You are modifying the way you write or the way he writes, okay? Faster or more neatly, neatly es prolijo, okay? So the general rule says that if the adverb finishes in ly, the comparative is formed, or the superlative is formed as with an adjective, with more or the most. We consider it like a long adjective, okay? More quickly, the most quickly. But what happens with those adverbs that have the same form as the adjective? Adverbs that are the same as the adjective only add er. Example, fast, faster, or the fastest. Early, earlier, the earliest. Hard, harder, hardest. So, make it simple. Fast, early, and hard are both adjective and adverb. You don't add ly to form the adverb. So the comparative and the superlative is as in short adjectives. Okay. Then you have the irregular adverb well, which is the comparative is better. Now, some other irregular adjectives are good, which and the adverb is well, and the comparative is better, and the superlative the best. I'm here, okay? Then far, the comparative is further, and the furthest. If you pay attention, I put a and u because both are correct. Bad, the adjective, badly, the adverb, the comparative is worse, the superlative the worst. Little, the adjective little, the comparative is less, and the superlative the least. Okay? Now, let's see something which might be new for you, which is how to express when we compare. Yes, let's see if that comparison shows a small or a big difference between the two elements. Sometimes we want to say that something is a bit more expensive. Es un poquito más caro. No es tan caro. So if we want to express that difference is small, we can add the words slightly or a bit before the comparative. Okay? Mary is slightly a bit taller than John. And if we want to use the other comparative form or other comparative structure, which is as, to show that that difference is small, you use the word quite. Now, if you want to express that that difference is big, es mucho más, you can use the word much or far. Mary is much more interesting than John, or Mary is far more interesting than John. The equivalent with the structure as is nearly. Okay? Now, what about the superlative form? If you want to say that something es por lejos el mejor o lo más, we're going to use the expression by far. This is by far the best book I've ever read. Por lejos el mejor libro. Okay? Now let's see other comparative structures that we can use. As I mentioned before, with the words quite and nearly, the structure as. Remember that with this structure, the adjective or the adverb doesn't change the form. You don't need to add anything. So be careful with that. So she is as intelligent as her sister. Another way to compare is to use the expression the same as. She has the same nose as his father. Different from. It turned out to be different from what I thought it would be. Compared to. They were extremely hard compared to his activities. Similar to. This system is similar to the one we use in our company. Equal to. This system is equal to the one we use in our company. What I want you to pay attention here is the preposition that is used with these expressions. The same as, different from, compared to, similar to, equal to. Okay? That is very important for you so as not to mix them up. Now, what about the double comparative? We use this structure for things which occur together. Yo siempre, cuando ustedes escriben, digo, cuanto más escriben, puede ser que cometan más errores. Entonces, ¿cómo hago esto? Diciendo, the more he eats, the fatter he becomes. Es decir, uso the plus a comparative, and then in the other part, the plus the second comparative. The more money I have, the faster I spend it. The more you write, the more mistakes you can make. That's another way to compare. And then we have too and enough. Remember that too means demasiado and enough, suficiente. Too and enough indicate degree, and they're used with adjectives. And they can also be used with nouns. So, too means more than what is needed. And it always goes in a preposition place, okay? So, he's too old to play football with the kids. Too plus the adjective, okay? And if we use nouns, we need to use many or much depending on the kind of noun it is, if it is countable or uncountable. Example, he has too many friends. He has bought too much sugar. Okay? Too, demasiado. Enough, which means sufficient, enough comes after adjectives and adverbs, but before nouns. Dave is intelligent enough to do the right thing. You are not working fast enough. I don't have enough time. So, adjective or adverb, and then enough, and enough plus a noun. Then what you have is practice. Okay, we have activities from the student's book, and then one activity here in the main file. Practice to enough, or the negative of the verb, yes, plus enough. Okay, let's do the first gap together. Is this a good place to go skating? No, the ice is for skating. Si thin significa delgado, fino, y digo que no es un lugar apropiado o buen lugar para esquiar. No, the ice is too thin for skating. Okay? So, do your practice. If you have any question, you can write to us through Google Classroom. Okay? Bye-bye, kids.